Today on the lift we have a 2015 Ford Taurus Limited. It's got a 3.5 liter engine, and it started miscellaneously getting cylinder head temperature overheat messages. If we were monitoring the temperature on the gauge inside the car, and it would go from a normal temperature straight down to cool. So I believe it is a problem, and the code actually shows that too, but it seems to be just a erroneous message. So I'm going to change the cylinder head temperature sensor, and for that you will need the temperature sensor. This is for all 3.5 liter engines. The temperature sensor and a gasket kit, an intake gasket kit. The temperature sensor is under both of the intake gaskets, so that's why you have to take it so much apart. So we'll get started. First step is going to be take the clips off of this, remove the plug from the mass airflow sensor, undo this, just move that and pull it off. Take this piping off of the back here, loosen this up, and then this all should pull out of the way. Okay, so I took the air system off, and you have to take, I started by taking this off, which you pinch this right here and slide it over, that comes off. And I took the antifreeze hose from right there off, tucked it away over here, took all these bolts out. There's two under here, and you have to take the throttle body off because you have to get to that one bolt right there to be able to get the upper manifold off. And then there's also a pipe right there that you'll have to take off. This all pushes aside, and you end up having to take this off the lower manifold. I haven't got to that point yet, but that's where we're at. All right, I loosened that bolt that I just showed you, and took the pipe off the back, and this should be ready to lift right out, and it is. Set this aside, and this is where we're at. So now I need to take all the 8mm bolts off the lower intake and disconnect the fuel rail, this fuel rail right here, move it out of the way, and I'll have to disconnect the water system there. I took out all the 8mm bolts, and on the fuel rail there is a couple of these Star T45s. You got to take those out also. And then you will also need to disconnect all of the fuel injectors. Alright, so that's loose. And I'm going to disconnect the fuel injectors. The manifold is loose. I'm going to go ahead and take all the bolts out. And this right here is the fuel line, and it needs to disconnect to get this past the fuel rail. It's also connected on this side by one. So I'm gonna just disconnect this and flip it all up, change the gaskets and flip it back down. I don't need to undo all that just to get to this sensor. So I'll show you that here in a minute. Sensor's out. Put a small amount of Teflon tape on there. Okay, so I replaced all the gaskets on that and on that. I just set it back down. There is a gasket in there I replaced also. It came with a gasket for right here, but we didn't have to connect it right there. So that's the only gasket that is left over right there. Now I'm just going to put it back together. I hope this video helps you. If it does, please subscribe to my channel because that helps me and I appreciate it. Thanks for watching.